Have you ever lost yourself in sketching out a perfect vision down to every detail, every hue, every single step, only to look up at reality and wonder, how did it all veer so spectacularly off course? Maybe you spent hours, even days, meticulously crafting a plan, from preparing the slides for that critical presentation to arranging every surprise detail for a friend's birthday celebration. Then on D-Day, everything unravels. The Wi-Fi cuts out mid-slide. The projector refuses to boot up. And there you stand, flustered and defeated. The weight of 1,000 sighs pressing down. Thinking, why does this happen to me? That gut-wrenching feeling when you question why you couldn't control the situation, why your best efforts still fell short, feels heavier than mere sadness. You're hit by disappointment and hurt, and if you're not careful, you can bury yourself under a suffocating blanket of self-doubt. It's in these moments you realize expectations aren't just goals you set. They're shackles that drag you under the moment they break. Expectations are the raw material of dreams and ambition. From childhood, we learn to dream. Dream of becoming a doctor. Dream of soaring in the arts. Dream of building a happy home. Expectations give us fuel to strive. Yet when we cling too tightly, insisting that reality must follow the precise script we've written, any deviation can shatter us. Disappointment crashes in like a storm surge, washing away our sense of security and leaving us gasping in regret with every if only. Think about it. Every time you replay a what, if only I hadn't been late, if only I'd prepared more, if only I'd had more patience, you're pouring energy into lamenting the past. These endless ifs pile up like boulders on your chest, draining your strength so that you cannot recognize the new opportunities right in front of you. Unreleased disappointment becomes a rusty shackle, blinding you to the possibilities that await just beyond the ruins of your plans. But here's the hopeful truth. You don't have to stay mired in disappointment. In this video, we won't merely repeat the tired refrain, "Don't be sad." Instead, we'll dig into why your heart clings so tightly to unmet expectations, why your mind equates success with a narrow set of outcomes, so that when they crumble, you feel your whole world quake. More importantly, we'll explore how to genuinely release that burden, how to transform frustration into resilience, how to wash away self-criticism, how to rebuild inner peace, and how to master your reaction whenever life pulls the rug out from under you. You'll discover practical, actionable tools, no fluff, just step-by-step methods, reframing expectations. Learn to focus on process over result. By valuing effort and experience rather than fixating on an outcome, you stay grounded and responsive when things go sideways. Cultivating flexibility with if-then planning. Adopt conditional strategies like, if the network goes down, then I'll seamlessly transition to discussion mode. By preparing Plan B scripts, you keep control and calm even when surprises strike. Letting go of what-ifs exercise. Write down your most persistent if-only scenarios. Then replace each with an affirmation, I did my best. If things had gone the other way, it wasn't entirely within my control. Over time, these shifts soften regret into lessons learned. Mindfulness practice. Dedicate a few minutes each day to focus on your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your chest, and even invite disappointment to sit beside you without judgment. Observing frustration with curiosity instead of condemnation creates the space for it to shift. Spotting hidden opportunities. Every failure conceals a seed of growth. When a plan stumbles, it's your chance to pivot, innovate, and tap into strengths you never knew you had, turning setbacks into springboards. These strategies aren't rocket science, but they require commitment and repetition. Consider Tao, a marketing specialist who once poured her heart into a campaign she fully expected to soar, only to see it barely move the needle. Instead of dwelling on regret, Tao used the if-then framework. If the campaign doesn't meet targets, then I will gather feedback and iterate. The next morning, she analyzed user responses rather than stewing in self-blame, uncovering insights that fueled a hugely successful follow-up. That's the power of letting disappointment fuel your next move. If you're hearing this and already feel a subtle weight lift off your shoulders, give yourself permission to believe. You deserve freedom from the invisible load of unmet expectations. Let's move forward step by step, discovering the art of letting go so your inner strength isn't held hostage by what should have been, and you can live fully in the moment, open to whatever wonders life has in store. If you're ready to shed the burden of broken plans, hit play now and let's dive into the art of letting go. Have you ever stopped to wonder why the smallest gap between what you expected and what actually happens can leave you feeling so deflated and weighed down? It all stems from an invisible chasm between what I thought would occur and what is really unfolding. When you paint a mental picture of perfection, like receiving that promotion or imagining your vacation bathed in sunshine, you set a benchmark reality very rarely meets. The moment reality diverges, you feel unmoored, floundering in uncertainty. Compounding this is our innate urge to control everything. From project timelines to other people's reactions, we crave mastery. So when a crucial meeting slips through our fingers or a thunderstorm cancels your carefully planned getaway, you experience helplessness. That powerless sting not only fuels frustration at the situation, but also self-reproach. Why didn't I foresee this? Next, many of us unconsciously tie our self-worth to outcomes. You think, I'll be proud of myself only if I hit that target. When things go right, you bask in praise. I'm impressive. But when they go wrong, no promotion, a botched presentation, you label yourself a failure. I'm not good enough. That sense of failing feels like a personal verdict, turning disappointment into a burdensome weight. Then there's the terror of uncertainty. Whenever outcomes are in flux, the future looks hazy, and anxiety peaks. Not knowing what's around the corner about a project's success, a loved one's feelings, your own health keeps you tossing and turning at night, scanning for a sign of safety that never comes. Let's look at a few everyday scenarios that reveal these dynamics at work. You set your sights on a mid-year promotion. You smash every KPI, craft the perfect pitch, only to watch someone else receive the title. In that instant, your disappointment is more than situational. It becomes a cold sink of self-doubt, as if your heart itself has been frozen. You plan a dream family vacation, flights booked, hotel confirmed, itinerary locked in. Then a sudden storm cancels your flight. You feel like a failure not just because you lost time and money, but because that once vibrant excitement has been snuffed out by circumstances beyond your control. You expect a friend, partner, or colleague to behave the way you believe they should, always supportive, always understanding. When they don't, perhaps they turn down your idea or forget to check in, you're hit by frustration and wonder. Do they really care about me at all? All of these examples share the same root causes: the collision of expectation with reality, the crash between our desire for control and what's outside our grasp, our self-worth tethered to results, and our dread of an unpredictable future. Only by clearly identifying these pressure points can you pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, why am I so locked onto this outcome? Is there a way to loosen my grip, embrace reality, and still move forward? In the next section, we'll dive into practical techniques that help you untangle these bonds, starting with how to redefine expectations more realistically and how to use mindfulness exercises to maintain calm amid life's uncertainties. Get ready to turn the burden of unmet expectations into your greatest opportunity for growth and resilience. When if-onlys keep echoing in your mind, you unknowingly drain a priceless resource, your mental energy. Every moment you spend replaying past mistakes, misplaced words, wrong decisions, unmet expectations is a moment you're not investing in the present. Picture a generator inside you. Every time you dig up old memories, you burn precious power just to keep the door of regret propped open. Instead of channeling that energy into illuminating your future, you're wasting it in the darkness of what might have been. It's not only your mind that suffers, your body bears the toll too. Chronic mental strain keeps your nervous system locked in tension, flooding your bloodstream with cortisol. The result? Fitful sleep, lingering stress, headaches, sore muscles, even digestive troubles or a weakened immune system. You may notice you catch every minor illness, struggle to concentrate, or simply lack the energy to smile each morning. These are your body's alarm bells screaming, "Let go or I'll break." When your spirit is tangled in disappointment, taking new action becomes nearly impossible. You might want to apologize, try a fresh approach, or launch a new project, but each time you're about to hit send, a voice whispers, "What if I fail again?" You hesitate, you postpone, and before you know it, you've robbed yourself of the chance to move forward. Reflect on this. How many opportunities have passed you by because you feared repeating old pain? Because you were afraid to fail once more? Ironically, that very hesitation often becomes your greatest failure. Meanwhile, countless doors of possibility stand ajar. A surprising collaboration invite, an eye-opening trip, a conversation that could shift your perspective. But if your gaze stays glued to what you've lost, you won't recognize these precious openings. You're like someone with eyes closed on a train platform, listening to wheels rumble past without realizing the opportunity train is slipping away. Moreover, the burden of holding on fractures your relationships. You become irritable and short-tempered over the smallest things, a joke that falls flat, a minor request, and lash out at loved ones and colleagues. They ask if you're okay, offer support, only to run into your defensiveness and silence. Instead of being a source of warmth, you turn into a negative magnet, dragging those you care about into your storm of tension and eroding the bonds you need most. In summary, when you can't let go, energy is wasted on fruitless rumination. Health suffers under constant stress. Action stalls because of fear of repeating failure. Opportunities slip through while you're still looking back. Relationships grow tense and distant. That is why mastering the art of letting go is essential. To reclaim your energy, restore your health, take courageous action, seize new opportunities, and nurture the connections you treasure. In the next section, we'll explore practical methods to shed each of those heavy stones so you can break free from the chains of the past and step forward with light feet and a liberated heart. When you've grown weary of carrying disappointment and are ready to move forward more lightly, the art of letting go offers you 7 practical tools, actions you can begin applying today to transform burdens into strength. 1. Acknowledge your emotions. First, give yourself full permission to feel. Don't bottle up sadness, anger, or frustration. Whisper to yourself, "It's okay not to be okay." Emotions are like an unexpected storm, sometimes fierce, sometimes gentle, but always needing release to clear your inner sky. For example, if a project fails, Instead of pretending you're fine, take a few quiet moments to admit, "I'm really disappointed," and let your tears or your anger flow. This isn't weakness. It's the first step toward genuine healing. 2. Shift your focus. Next, pivot from asking, "Why did this happen to me?" to "What can I learn from this?" or "What's my next step?" The first question traps you in blame and regret. The second invites solution-oriented thinking. If a presentation goes poorly, rather than replaying every misstep, jot down 3 concrete improvements: your tone, your slides, your engagement, and plan one simple practice today. 3. Practice mindfulness. Whenever you catch yourself lost in ruminations about the past, gently bring your attention back to the present moment. Notice your breath, feel your chest rise and fall, or tune into the ambient sounds around you. Remind yourself, "I'm thinking about disappointment, but that's just a thought, not my current reality." This separation frees you from the automatic pull of regret. 4. Define your circle of influence. Draw 2 circles. The smaller one around the things you can control, your reactions and your next actions, and a larger one around everything you cannot change, the past. Other people's behavior. Consciously focus your time and energy on the inner circle, your attitude, your effort, and your choices. Let go of the rest. 5. Seek the lesson. Every setback holds a precious nugget of insight about yourself, about life, or about how to do things better next time. If a relationship ends, instead of dwelling on loss, ask yourself, "How could I communicate more clearly? What boundaries do I need?" These lessons build your self-respect and deepen your future connections. 6. Adjust your expectations. Often, disappointment stems from setting your bar too high or too rigidly. Learn to balance ambition with flexibility. Set realistic goals that motivate you without condemning you when they shift. For instance, rather than expecting 100% success, aim for achieving at least 70% of my objectives, with room to adapt the rest. This practical mindset reduces the sting of unmet goals and keeps you moving. 7. Reach out for support. You don't have to carry everything on your own. Share your feelings with trusted friends, family, or a professional. Simply voicing your struggles can bring relief and fresh perspective. And if old wounds run deep, a few sessions with a therapist or coach can be a courageous, transformative step, helping you uncover root causes and craft a lasting plan to let go. Imagine you're a climber hauling a backpack stuffed with heavy stones. These 7 tools are your unburdening kit, acknowledging each stone's weight, centering yourself with mindfulness, mapping what you can and can't change, extracting lessons, resizing your pack with realistic expectations, and calling in backup when needed. As you shed each stone, you'll find the ascent less grueling and more exhilarating, free to reach new heights with confidence and joy. Track your progress, note your emotions, your thoughts, your actions, and the results. Over time, you'll witness a clear transformation. Disappointment will no longer be a wound, but a springboard propelling you forward. That is the essence of the art of letting go, turning burdens into fuel, so you can live each moment with freedom, lightness, and wholehearted presence. When disappointment inevitably strikes, you have a choice: collapse under its weight, or turn it into fuel for new energy. Disappointment isn't the end. It can be the spark that ignites change and growth. The key is learning how to channel those negative feelings into positive action, so that every setback propels you closer to your strongest self. Start by redirecting negative energy into action. The moment you feel that pang of letdown and your heart races, set a small, concrete goal. Today, I'll write down 3 ways to improve, or I'll spend 15 minutes drafting a new plan. Instead of sinking into disappointment, use that feeling of being knocked down as fuel. For instance, if you miss a sales target, rather than dwelling on failure, immediately review your approach and make extra calls to new prospects. Each successful connection rebuilds your confidence and keeps your momentum alive. Next, cultivate resilience. Every time you bounce back from a disappointment, you grow stronger, as if you're building muscle through minor tears. Each failure tests your adaptability and creativity. Keep a victory journal. Note how yesterday you felt beaten down, but today you called 5 more clients. Or how you missed that trip, but discovered a fantastic local experience instead. Looking back, you'll see how far you've come. Central to this process is the power of your mindset. How you interpret disappointment shapes your emotional response. Instead of telling yourself, "I'm a failure," reframe the thought, "This is an opportunity to try a new approach." You always have the power to choose your reaction. If you stumble once, get up with the attitude, "I'm learning rather than I'm defeated." When you shift your mindset, your energy follows. You'll feel excited to tackle new challenges rather than drowning in regret. Finally, use small daily techniques to sustain your drive. Write a motivational mantra. Each morning, affirm something like, "I will turn yesterday's setbacks into today's strength." Share your progress, tell a colleague or friend, "After that setback, here's what I did next." And celebrate each small win together. Create a success map. Sketch the path from disappointment to your first triumph. So every time you glance at it, you're reminded of your own power. By transforming disappointment into fuel for action, you not only free up pent-up energy, but also open doors to creativity and new opportunities. Every stumble becomes a springboard upward. With each step, you reinforce the belief that you are resilient, that you can meet any challenge head-on, and that your passion will keep burning brightly. As you look back on our journey together, you'll see that carrying the weight of unmet expectations, those endless what-ifs, regrets, and invisible burdens, has been nothing but unnecessary chains. Meanwhile, you've gained a powerful toolkit for letting go, acknowledging your emotions, shifting your focus to lessons learned, practicing mindfulness, defining your circle of influence, setting realistic expectations, and reaching out for support when needed. Each small step frees up energy and carries you from stuck to liberated. Here's the core truth to remember. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you absolutely can control how you respond. That choice, how you reflexively meet life's surprises, is where your true power lies. When you stop fighting the past and start focusing on how you interpret, process, and grow from your experiences, you transform disappointment into drive, anxiety into confidence, and doubt into courage. Letting go isn't about indifference or apathy. It's an act of self-compassion, granting your spirit permission to rest, your heart room to heal, and yourself the freedom to live more lightly. When the burdens slip away, you'll feel each breath more fully, savor life's moments more deeply, and have space to pursue what truly matters: your health, your authentic relationships, your passions, and your purpose. Now I invite you to try one simple yet profound exercise. The next time you face a minor setback, an email rejection, a canceled meeting, or a disappointing response, pause for a moment. Close your eyes or place a hand on your heart. Take a deep breath and acknowledge what you're feeling. I'm disappointed. I'm frustrated. Then choose one of the tools we discussed. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or shift your attention back to your breath. Or clarify your circle of influence. In that single moment of pause, you'll unlock an entirely new stream of energy. And remember, You always have the power to choose your reaction. Every positive choice not only releases you from old burdens, but also ignites your belief in a bright future. Let disappointment become your springboard. Let sadness become your ally in building resilience. And let each act of letting go mark a step toward greater strength, confidence, and freedom. There are still countless wonderful opportunities waiting for you, deeper connections, untapped potential, and a life lived with passion and purpose. All of that emerges when you're ready to set down the weight of unmet expectations and step forward with a lighter heart. Let go of your burdens and watch your spirit take flight.